Alright, how's everybody keeping? I hope you're well. First off, welcome back to another power overlay / commentary. Whatever we want to call these. I don't really know what we should. In fact, if you have any ideas, let me know down below. This video, I'm going to try and keep it as like me talking as if I'm in the room with you, like talking you through the effort and everything. It's kind of a long video. It's longer than usual. This climb is the longest one I've done so far in this kind of video series. So this is the Bwlch Groes. Let's just start off with the climb. The Bwlch Groes is probably about 20 miles north, kind of northeast of Aberystwyth. So mid Wales, or mid to North Wales, as a lot of us would refer to it as. Me and Charlie drove up the morning that I rode up this climb, and the whole idea of it was to do a DIY hill climb. Now, this climb I've only ever done once before. It's very, very steep. A lot of people know it as probably the hardest climb you're likely to do in the UK. Now, I'm not clickbaiting you or anything with that, but like, it is, a hard climb. I'm actually going to bring up the stats because I don't want to botch this, but it's 2.63k according to Strava, with an average gradient of 13%. And it took me 11 minutes and 14 seconds with an average power of 412, which is literally a smidge over 7 watts per kilo. Now, my VAM was 1940 for this climb, so just shy of 2000 for, like I said, 11 minutes. So obviously a big amount of VAM because the climb is so steep. Now, I'll talk you through this. Now, for a start, we were blessed to have the clouds to disappear like they did. They must have known we were coming, because in the valley it was rubbish. Okay, so take my word for it, the ride to the bottom of this climb was rough, and it's lucky I changed wheels at the bottom to my hill climbing wheels. But basically, this climb has it all. It's typical Welsh lanes with a climb. You have nice views to your right. Not that I actually saw any of it. When I'm actually watching this footage back, I was like, wow, like this climb is actually really picturesque. And actually coming down it was better in terms of like seeing the sights than going up it. But yeah, you can probably tell already that this climb does not let up. You'll be able to see in a second or two. You'll be able to see the road kind of skirting around the mountain right in front of me, so you'll be able to see, I guess, the top like the whole time, or at least from here on out. So it gets a little bit demoralizing. You'll notice my cadence is actually like really high for a climb this steep. But even though we're not even on the steepest part yet, this is still like a really good cadence for a climb of this kind of gradient. Heart rate takes a while to get up. Those of you that know, like my heart rate does take a while to get up. Charlie's doing a good job of clearing the crap off the dashboard here, which we've this is the thing, like Charlie's like, she's dedicated a lot of her time to just like following me up this climb and like driving me to the climb, and I get a little, you kind of know what it's like, it's very difficult for someone like myself I'm not type A, but I'm very, the details matter. And when it comes to doing like a DIY hill climb like this, where we drive to the bottom, I get a little bit of a warm up in, I've changed my saddle and my wheels and things like that. And, mentally I'm preparing for the effort and what type of effort it's going to take. That itself, sometimes Charlie can do something, really, really small, and I'll just lose my, I'll get like really kind of like defensive and stuff for absolutely no reason. And that's like, I'm sure a lot of you can relate to that. For those of you that compete and do not just hill climbs but any races and events, you know, people supporting you, sometimes you need your own little space. And like, in a way, me going up here on my own, you know, without Charlie there, because, you know, although this is like, you know, there's no way we'd have got footage like this if it wasn't for Charlie driving in the car behind and giving up her time to do this. But yeah, this was like me replicating what I would have at any other hill climb in the UK, which is basically, you know, turning up to the event, doing a warm up, getting nutrition right. So it gives me a chance to test these things. So anyway, we're now kind of halfway through the climb, give or take. Well, time wise we are, but like distance wise, you can see we've already done like a fair chunk of that little squiggle at the top of the screen. So this is where it flattens out. This is like the flat section of the climb. Yes, you may laugh. It is 7%. Go over a cattle grid, watch for the back wheel wobble. 3, 2, 1. Ooh, a little bit slidey there. Anyway, we got over it. All well. Then we hit like the steepest section. So you'll watch the gradient go up and up and up here. I dump down through the gears, and because I changed my cassette, and by the way, there's a whole video coming out on this, either tomorrow or the day after. Just following us through the day, building up to this effort, so you'll get a bit of a background picture behind it. But me changing on the gears there, actually, like, that just signifies like where the gradient is going here. And you know, you don't often see me, for those of you that know me and I've seen me during hill climbs, I don't often get out of the saddle either. So I'm kind of like, I'm really giving it some. In fact, I've probably gone too deep right here. What you're watching is me going over 20 watts more than what I was doing for that first kind of 6 or 7 minutes. And this is like my undoing with this effort. So what you've seen is a mistake. What you've just seen is a mistake. I sit down, my heart rate has climbed. It's slightly recovered on that flat section. Not much. You know, we're not going to actually call it recovery. But it has, you know, settled, and it's not continuing to rise. But now that we've got onto the steep bit and I'm starting to get up the saddle, I am actually in my smallest gear, which is 3630. You know, I'm now trying to keep the momentum. My cadence is dropping, and I'm not even, you know, my power is not dropping. I mean, well, it is. It's going down to like 400, whereas it was, you know, 440 a couple of minutes ago. But, you know, this is the hardest part of the climb. You can see just in the distance, so around this right-hander here, you can see the guardrail keeps going. And you can see the guardrail in the distance there, kind of 75% of the way across the screen to your right. This is where Charlie stalls. And I've got to be honest, don't blame her when you're following me going this slow, going up this section. But I'm really struggling. As the cadence drops, I'm really struggling to keep that power going. And this is something that I've pinpointed numerous times, not just, you know, through this footage now, but I've pinpointed it. You know, it's one of the reasons why I'm not very good at short, hard efforts on really steep climbs, and it's a lot to do with, well, very simply, I guess, like that, obviously that raw power, but then the upper body stability. So there's a reason why I stay seated a lot of time. That's the most efficient way I feel like I can climb a mountain. That's the most efficient way I feel like I can get a lot of power out. But when I start getting up the saddle, particularly when it gets steep, I really struggle to keep the power consistent when it gets steep. So when it's not so steep, I'm fine. But when it gets really steep like that, I struggle, and it's not something I'm comfortable with. So now that we kind of reach this guardrail I was talking about, we're coming around to the left now. I'm kind of, you know, getting in and out of the saddle. There's nothing really that's that comfortable now, because now I've surpassed that limit. You know, I've gone past the limit. I'm trying to find like a gear that's, you know, it's easy enough that I can keep the cadence high, but then it's hard enough that I keep the power up, because, you know, if the cadence is too high and the gear is too small, I end up spinning fine, you know, 90 RPM, but my power is at 380. So then I need to dump it down a gear to get it down to like 80 or 75 RPM just to keep the power up to 400. But now you can see my power is not even at 400, where it is now. But it's struggling to maintain that position. I'm kind of all over the road as well, trying to find like the, I guess you can call like the the less steep section, but that's not really happening. I don't know why the data's disappeared here. I'm sorry, I messed up the editing, but I'm sure you've seen enough pain. I have anyway, that's for sure. But I'm keeping the power on here. You can assure that I'm keeping the power on, but it does kind of just slightly even out after we crest this little rise. It does drop off slightly, and I allow myself maybe 2 or 3 seconds just to like compose myself for the last 30 seconds. In the last 30 seconds I give everything to the top of the mountain, but really, if I was kind of in control of the effort and going all in all the way, I wouldn't need to back off for those couple of seconds. I could keep driving it to the line, but it really is like here it's still steep. Like that last kind of, I don't know what it was exactly, maybe 800 meters averages 17%. So that average, really goes through the roof. The first kind of part of the climb, it's over 10%, but it changes a lot. Whereas this last section is relentless. This is the place, where people tell me back there with those guardrails, that's where they get off. Like that's where a lot of people can't make it to the top. And you hear me talk in the actual vlog, which is coming soon, about the milk race and the old Tour of Britain when that used to come up here. So this is a magical climb in Wales. Like there's no disputing that. It's one of the climbs in the UK, not just in Wales, that you have to do. Even if you drive up it and you just take in the views and you ride down and then you try to ride back up, like it's worth it just for that. Like you don't have to like do an epic ride to get there. It really is one of those that you should do. I don't know about going down it. I don't think I got in the car at the top. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't descend it, but here's the top. So a little car park to the left, finishes just there. Charlie pulls in. There's a brave soul here on a motorbike, and you want to watch this. You want to watch this bit now. I'm just gonna leave you now. I'm gonna end it here. Thank you very much for watching. Just watch my face right here. Brilliant.